Now, every year, hip replacements change the lives of thousands of people, giving them back their mobility and freedom.
Yes, it's one of the most commonly performed operations in the UK, with success rates that are among the best in the world. But the idea came from a pioneering British surgeon with a love of engineering.
Dominic Hughes has been finding out how an annoying squeak helped Sir John Charnley develop an idea which has been improving patients' quality of life for 50 years.
For the past 5 years or so, former teacher Harry HAGAN has had a troublesome hip. Now he's having a total hip replacement. The procedure first carried out 50 years ago to the day, here in Wrightington Hospital in Lancashire. Before the operation, I asked Harry what he hoped to get out of it.
I hope to be back to be a 35-year-old, but seriously, I want to be able to run a little, take long walks in the countryside, play a bit of social tennis, get back to the gym, and, you know, take up what I would consider to be a normal lifestyle for someone who's, other than the hip, fit and well.
It was at Wrightington that Sir John Charnley, a surgeon with a love of engineering, developed a revolutionary artificial hip joint and surgical technique that has stood the test of time. It was a steel implant that sat in a tough plastic cup, replacing the ball and socket in the hip, weakened by conditions like arthritis or simply wear and tear. Sir John died in 1982, but his wife remembers how his idea came after he saw a patient suffering from an unusual problem with an existing hip implant.
This patient came to John because the squeak upset his wife so much, so that when they were having breakfast together or a meal together and he leaned forward to get the salt, it squeaked and it made her feel sick. So that started Charnley on thinking about what was going on in the joint. And then, of course, he had this engineering bent and really redesigned nature.
And that work means surgeons from around the world now come to Wrightington Hospital to study the techniques used here. This is one of around 50,000 total hip replacement operations that are carried out in the UK each year. There have been some modifications, but essentially it's the same procedure developed by Sir John Charnley exactly 50 years ago in this very hospital. The procedure has become the gold standard for this kind of operation, and it's one that's spread throughout the world. So how significant has the development of the Charnley technique been in the history of medicine?
As an orthopaedic surgeon, I'm bound to be biased, and I'm bound to tell you that hip replacements are the #1 innovation, but I don't think I'm far wrong. It certainly ranks alongside the discovery of penicillin, coronary artery bypass grafting, coronary stenting, but above all, it's had a huge impact on patients' lives around the world, delivering pain relief and return to function.
For some surgeons, this hospital is almost a place of pilgrimage, but most patients walking around today, thanks to a replacement hip, have no idea the debt they owe to Sir John Charnley. Dominic Hughes, BBC News, Wrightington Hospital.